345. Microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are your levels good? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, 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 check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Marcelino, how are you doing? Guys good? Okay, turning off the mic for right now.
Hello, I'm John Owens, and I'm the unit chief for the CalFire San Luis Obispo unit, fire chief for San Luis Obispo County, and fire chief for the City of Pismo Beach Fire Departments. I welcome you here today to the Wildfire Preparedness Week press conference. Today's Wildfire Preparedness press conference is a significant event in our collective efforts to raise awareness of wildfire preparedness in the state and San Luis Obispo County, because fire is coming. Through our statewide and local interagency coordination efforts with our federal, state, local, and private cooperators, we have conducted defensible space inspections, held chipping and fire education events, and managed vegetation and prescribed burn projects. In addition to these ongoing efforts, all residents must do their part in wildfire preparedness by creating defensible space around their homes, having an emergency evacuation plan in place, and staying informed about wildfire events. I urge everyone to take proactive steps to ensure their safety and the safety of their community. Together, we can make a difference in preventing and mitigating the impacts of wildfires in San Luis Obispo County. To learn more about wildfire safety and preparedness, please visit www.readyforwildfire.org for more information. Thank you for your attention and dedication to wildfire preparedness. Please stay safe and be prepared. Now it's my honor to introduce the Director of CalFire, Joe Tyler.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joe Tyler. I'm the Director and Fire Chief at CalFire. And this is our 2024 Wildfire Preparedness Week. It is day 3, where we're coming to you from beautiful San Luis Obispo County at the Paso Robles Airport in the city of Paso Robles. It is great to work with the community and with the partnership at large. And I can't say enough but to begin with the great efforts of the women and men who are standing behind us that do the great work of emergency response, fire prevention, and fuels reduction each and every day. Whether it is the California Military Department, the California Conservation Corps, the United States Forest Service, the city of Paso Robles, the city of San Luis Obispo, our CalFire employees that are here with you today. It is them doing it together. This year, we stress the importance of partnerships. We stress the importance of partnerships because no one agency can do it alone. No one person can do it alone. So partnerships don't just extend to government entities, but to you, the citizens, to help us make California more fire resilient. This year's theme is meeting the mission through partnerships, and I truly believe that. And again, these partnerships evolve at the local, state, federal, tribal, nation, fire safe councils, fire-wise communities, innovators, grantees, and you, the public. As I said, I'm standing here with great partners that are all here to make California more safe and more resilient. And we know that firefighting alone is not enough to make California resilient or less prone to wildfire. Californians play a crucial role in both preventing and preparing for wildfires. We know that California and the western states are prone to fires. We've seen that 2014 to 18, 20, and 21, and we've seen moderated fire behavior in part due to the great work of the women and men behind me, and in part due to Mother Nature and fire prevention activities in 2022 and 2023. And we recognize that it is green out right now. We recognize that the heavy rains and snow in the Sierras have given us some reprieve from the drought conditions, but the threat of wildfire still exists. So far, CalFire alone, not including our local or federal partners, have responded to almost 195,000 calls for service in 2024 alone. 576 wildfires have occurred for just over 2,500 acres across the state. And just in the last week, while it appears green, there have been 105 new wildfires across the state. It takes unprecedented action to enhance community resilience, to do what we need to do to make ourselves more resilient to wildfire. And there have been historic investments in forest management initiatives and state-of-the-art fire equipment, apparatus, and aircraft such as those that are sitting behind us from all the agencies to help mitigate fires and create prevention. Statewide, we have given more than $1 million in grant funding just in forest health and fire prevention just in the last few years. And the administration has given more than $2.8 billion to the wildfire resilience efforts across California. And we note, again, partly because of Mother Nature, partly because of the great work, that there's been a reduction in those burned acres in the last 2 years. In fact, there's been nearly a 94% reduction in the number of structures destroyed in the last 2 years, but we are still very, very prone to wildfire. We're utilizing technology and new aircraft, such again as those behind us, to play a bigger role in prevention, detection, and suppression. We have a relationship with Alert California through the UC San Diego system with over 1,065 current mountaintop cameras, 163 to come in 2024, that have detected over 180 fires before the first report from a 911 caller. Not here today, but will be assigned in 2025 to the Paso Robles Air Attack Base will be a C-130 aircraft carrying 4,000 gallons of retardant. In January of 2024, the Department of Defense and Congress transferred title of 7 C-130s to the state of California, and we expect the first one to be operational in late 2024. We have ordered 16 Black Hawk helicopters, also referred to as Firehawks. 13 of the 16 are present. 3 are still on order, and they are to complement the statewide aviation fleet, not only at CalFire, but with our federal partners and with our local partners as well. In addition to that, we will add 24 exclusive use private firefighting aircraft in 2024 to supplement the local, state, and federal agency aircraft. 5 of those exclusive use private aircraft this year will fly at night. 5 of the bases of CalFire should be flying at night in 2024 as well. As it relates to fuels reduction, over 730 projects are on the ground today, consistently between just the state agency and our grantees, doing over 100,000 acres of fuels reduction annually. Forest management projects have been proven to slow or turn the spread of wildfires and provide safe refuge to our firefighting personnel. The projects are leveraging partnerships, again, at all levels. Partnerships at all levels, including you, the people of California. And related to tribal relations, CalFire recognizes that we need to build and embrace our relationship with our tribal nations, that we need to learn from their traditional ecological knowledge and practices on how to place prescribed fire and understand cultural burning across the state. To assist in that, we've given some of our tribes $19 million in tribal resilience grants. But to return to partners, it's you, the public, and the citizens of California who are critical partners in making California more resilient. So here's what I ask. Contribute to your neighborhood safety. Join a fire safe council or a fire-wise community to be able to assess and prioritize the risk of wildfire. Help your disabled or elderly neighbor who cannot do the work themselves. Maintain your defensible space around your homes. Harden your homes with low-cost retrofits that are available to you. Have an evacuation plan. Listen to the guidance of local and state law enforcement officers when they ask you to evacuate and they tell you which way to evacuate. And then I ask that you follow CalFire's social media, where you can find near real-time updates on fire activity. You can obtain fire information about grant opportunities, and even find those low-cost home retrofits that I talked about simply by going to fire.ca.gov or to osfm.fire.ca.gov. Finally, to prepare yourself for an approaching wildfire, I ask that you go to readyforwildfire.org. Thank you. I hope you stay safe. And it's my honor to introduce Debbie Arnold, District 5 Board of Supervisors of San Luis Obispo County and Fire Safe Council President.
Thank you. And it's an honor to be here representing San Luis Obispo County and also our County Fire Safe Council. This is great seeing everyone here, and as the years go by, this idea of collaboration and partnerships, the idea that we are going to look at the preventative side of managing wildfire as well as the preparedness for after fire season hits is, I think, been a great success. And I wanted to share a little bit about this county. Our county, San Luis Obispo, is approximately 2.2 million acres in landmass, and well over half of that is public lands and open space, and added with the agricultural open space, we've got about 2/3 of our county that is vulnerable for wildfires, and actually officially part of the wildland fire high-risk areas. So this has mattered to us for a very long time. As a matter of fact, almost 25 years ago, back in 1998, we started the Fire Safe Council here in San Luis Obispo, and it's been a huge success. It took a fire chief and an elected official at the County Board of Supervisors, my former boss actually is how I know all about this, to be looking a little futuristically at that time into the preparedness side of how we're going to manage wildfires in this county. Back in 2000, around 2000, I used to attend the Fire Safe Council meetings in the little tiny room at the old headquarters on Santa Rosa. It was just a small conference room, and the Fire Safe Council, working off of maybe a couple $1,000s in state grant money, was trying to put together brochures for the public to be aware of how they can make a difference at their own home and on their own property. And then also our big project then was to try to help educate at our county fair, where everyone comes together during fire season, and put a demonstration of house hardening, work with CalFire to have a lot of educational materials. Well, all that was accomplished some years ago and has been quite successful. Today, our Fire Safe Council works with millions of dollars and a lot of prevention work, a lot of roadside clearing, grazing, control burns, etc. And with all of these partners, and I know we all have worked together on multiple projects in this last year, I think we are really going to make a difference, and we already have. We already have seen the preventative work help slow down and stop the fires. So 10 focus groups in the county, 9 fire safe communities, lots of dedicated volunteers. It's been a huge success story. So I encourage other counties to get started. Counties support your fire safe councils. Fire safe councils support your communities, and it's going to make a big difference in counties like ours that are very vulnerable to the wildfires. And to close, I just want to thank all of you fire professionals for everything you do as we enter fire season. I just stay safe, and we all appreciate you. Thank you. To introduce Ed. Yes, the vice chair of our Fire Safe Council, Ed Waggy, mayor of the Pismo Beach, and a very dedicated member of our Fire Safe Council.
Good morning, and I'm delighted to be here with all of our partners. As Debbie mentioned about the Fire Safe Council, I'm going to give you some facts and figures. As she mentioned, we've been here for about 25 years, and we basically represent all segments of our local county. and trying to improve fire safety throughout the entire county. We currently have 28 wildfire stakeholder organizations represented on our board of directors. We've got 10 community grassroots fire safe focus groups. We conduct outreach, education, and treatment projects across the county. We are currently managing 106 projects throughout the county of various types. We've gotten several grants. We currently have about $23 million in grants. We've gotten them from CalFire, U.S. Forest Service, the State Coastal Conservancy, PG&E, and several others. The Fire Safe Council also is looking toward the future. We sponsor up to $60,000 per year in college scholarships and local grants through our Fire Safe Council funds to try to bring the next generation of firefighters, fire service, and fire science professionals. And our Fire Safe Council is all about community engagement, partnerships, and collaboration. Our process is to network, share ideas, and solution. Our 34-member board is made up of elected officials, agency and organizational leaders. University, we have Cal Poly's Wildland Urban Interface Fire Institute director represented on our Fire Safe Council. And finally, private citizens. Our Fire Safe Council has helped form 10 FireWise communities with more in process. Our process is to identify the obstacle, blocking actions that prevent moving forward, remove it through education, consulting, and funding assistance. We're all about community engagement, as through these partnerships between all these organizations here, our Fire Safe Council, that we've been successful. And these partnerships are essential to trying to make sure we can continue to be a fire-safe community. Thank you. And next will be Clint Wyrick, who's a senior district representative for San Luis Obispo County for Senator John Laird.
Good morning, everyone, and it's my honor to be here on behalf of California State Senator John Laird, who represents San Luis Obispo County. And first, he wants to extend his thanks to all the local, state, and federal agencies that respond, in addition to the private and nonprofit partners that already exist. For him, he used to be California Secretary for Natural Resources for 8 years. So he intimately worked with a lot of the state agencies represented here, from CalFire, California Conservation Corps, California Military Department, Cal OES, in response to the wildfires that existed during that time. And for him, this topic is very personal, because as Secretary, he saw the devastations that happened from wildfires that were small all the way to going to see what happened after Paradise occurred. This is an area that, when we talk about partnerships, this isn't something that we casually mention. These are essential and crucial. And for him to see everyone here making sure that everyone has the resources, the abilities, and also the intimate knowledge of different ways they could address this is going to be crucial. For everyone who's in the community, sometimes you feel that, well, I'm just one person, I'm just one family, we're a small business, we're not involved in public safety and emergency response that these agencies do every day. They're inviting you to be partners. You are a very welcome partner. You're crucial to this. They could only do so much in preparing and responding to the devastations that could occur, but you might have the ability to actually prevent all that from occurring too. And they're giving you solutions. The legislature funds a lot of different programs too that work through the agencies and through different public policy. But it's really the individuals that have a shared responsibility at the community level. With our shared responsibility, we all have accountability to one another too in having a solution. So for Senator Laird, like I said, this isn't just a casual thing. It's very personal to him too, and he wants to personally invite you all to be a part of the solution today. And with that, I'd like to now transition to one of our other partners, which is Jaime Gamboa, from the Director of Fire, Fuels, and Aviation Management with U.S. Forest Service, Pacific Southwest region.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the USDA Forest Service to celebrate the 2024 Wildfire Preparedness Week with our partners. I want to begin by thanking all of our partners who work with us throughout the year in wildfire prevention, preparedness, and response. No one agency can do this alone. We're all in it together, and we're all working towards a common goal. You hear us say this every year because it's how we must and want to operate. And I want to especially thank all our firefighters who are on the front lines for the sacrifices they make in committing to a good part of the year away from their families fighting fire. So let's talk preparedness, being proactive instead of reactive. We're focusing on reducing fuels and restoring forest health at a greater scale and faster pace than ever before. We're getting this work done under the Forest Service's Wildfire Crisis Strategy under the in which California has received close to $1 billion over the last couple of years, and under the Governor's Wildfire Task Force. In February of this year, the Forest Service launched the Collaborative Wildfire Risk Reduction Program to further enhance work associated with the WCS and promote new partnerships. This means an additional $100 million investment to support wildfire risk reduction projects across all National Forest Service lands. Last year, with wildfires generally moderated by late precipitation, we were able to take advantage of favorable conditions to complete approximately 320,000 acres of hazardous fuels reduction, and this year we're already on a path to increasing these acres. This fuels reduction work under the WCS is being planned and implemented in partnership with neighboring local, tribal, state, and other federal agencies. We work with these partners to prioritize hazardous fuels reduction around communities and other infrastructure across the state. We continue to support our local and tribal partners with funding through California Wildfire Defense Grants, giving millions of dollars for support in the development and implementation of community wildfire protection plans across the state and in Hawaii, where wildfire preparedness and community protection are on the forefront of everyone's minds after the heartbreaking events of last year. We continue to work with our interagency partners, our stakeholders in the private industry to prove our ability to respond together. Wildfires don't stop at the boundaries of national forests, so neither should our fuel breaks. Last year, we signed an agreement with the National Alliance of Forest Owners to increase our capability to fight wildfires in areas of adjacent ownership with National Forest System lands during initial attack. This year, the Forest Service signed a memorandum of understanding to improve coordination with the National Alliance of Forest Owners on cross-boundary fuel breaks. Looking ahead, much of California, 2024 has been another above-average precipitation year, but we won't get complacent. Fire leaders in the field are meeting with local partners in CalFire, other federal and state agencies to prepare for wildfire response. New firefighters continue to be brought in and trained along with our seasoned firefighting workforce. In a big celebration we recently had, we announced the completion of work on Phase 1 in Northern California at the Redding Air Tanker Base, making improvements that will ultimately double our previous capacity for loading retardant by allowing us to load 5 aircraft simultaneously. This $28 million project will directly benefit the suppression efforts across western United States. And this is just the beginning. Further phases of the project will include replacing the original hangar and co-locating all partners into one state-of-the-art facility. We are also continuing to work closely with our tribal partners to help restore cultural burning practices on ancestral lands. Lastly, and most important, we're celebrating Smokey Bear's 80th birthday this year. For 80 years, Smokey Bear has been a treasured symbol for preventing unwanted fire across America by teaching kids not to play with matches and adults to use caution when towing or mowing. Smokey's message is just as relevant and urgent today as it was then. Even now, over 85% of fires in California are started by people, often during the hottest, driest parts of the year when they are most difficult to control. Working together, we can prevent and be prepared for wildfire. It's my honor to introduce Brian Marshall, State Fire and Rescue Chief with California Office of Emergency Services.
Thank you, Director Gamboa, and thank you, Director Tyler, for having us here in San Luis County, beautiful San Luis County. But it's one spark away from a devastating wildfire. As I drove down yesterday from Sacramento, looking at the foothills,
down I-5, rolling foothills, green grass. And then as we got further south, the grass was drying out. And as Director Tyler mentioned, wildfires are already occurring across Kern County, or the state. It's wildfire season again. And I think back on a career as a local government firefighter and a fire chief. We had a devastating wildfire in my community. It was not expected. It occurred. The weather, the fuel, and a spark created devastation like we had never seen before. And I saw the impact to my community. But that fire is insignificant now in California's fire history, replaced by names such as Camp, Woosley, Dixie, Caldor. Hundreds of thousands of acres, thousands of structures, thousands of lives impacted. I wonder when we stand together next year, what names we will be talking about. What new names in California's fire history will there be? What lives will be impacted? What communities, cities, counties will be impacted by the devastation of wildfire? And that's why we're here today, to prepare the people of California. I represent over 900 local government fire departments. And if you look behind us, different colors of fire engines, different colors of uniforms, different patches on our sleeve. My motto at Cal OES Fire and Rescue is no one stands alone. You've heard that in some variations today. Whether it be our federal partners, our state partners, or our local government partners, when they have a wildfire, this group behind us are the ones that respond through the California Fire and Rescue Mutual Aid System, a system that is like no other across America. We truly lead the way here in California with providing mutual aid to our neighbors. Again, what's behind us today is the Fire Services 911. Through the vision of California leaders, Cal OES is able to purchase over 270 fire engines, one of them's behind us today, and assign them to local government or tribal fire departments across the state. 270 extra fire engines that local government firefighters or our tribal fire departments put their firefighters on and respond to calls for help. But it's just not the OES fire engines. In fact, in 2020, nearly 20,000 fire engines and firefighters responded to the devastation across the state. The goal is 0. Will we get there? We sure try. But I can tell you, it's important for you to be your own hero. For you, the people of California, to be prepared. There's not enough fire engines across the state to put a fire engine in front of every house and every driveway protecting it. It's up to you. Now is the time to create your plan. Have that go bag. Know what you're going to do with your pets. Baby food, medicine. You may be evacuated for weeks. Even though the fire is burned away from your community, power lines down, gas lines on fire, it will take time to get back. You need a plan now. And how about evacuation? We're all creatures of habit. We drive in our neighborhood the same way
and we drive out the same way. Well, everybody else is thinking that too. Have two ways out. Be prepared. And when our firefighters or law enforcement officers give that key message, evacuate now, don't hesitate, don't think twice, get out. Get out. We do not take evacuations lightly. When we do give that message, get out now. Save your life. As we go into the fire season, know that your California firefighters, whether state, federal, local, or tribal firefighters, they're prepared. They're ready to answer the call. But it's a partnership between the people of California and the firefighters. And together, we can survive the potential for a devastating wildfire season. And it's my honor to introduce General Robert Paletti with the California Military Department.
Good afternoon. The California Military Department has had a long tradition of working alongside with the Governor's Office of Emergency Services and CalFire in responding to wildfires throughout my 33 years in the California National Guard. But we have recently got into fire prevention as well. In a partnership with the U.S. Forest Service, we've created our Fire Guard program that uses real-time geospatial data to identify fire starts at their inception so that we can notify CalFire, U.S. Forest Service, and local jurisdictions so they can respond immediately. We also have created our Task Force Rattlesnake program, which is almost 500 soldiers and airmen who are trained by CalFire and work in the direct support of CalFire to do fuels reduction in the off-season and augment them with 14 Type 1 hand crews during fire season. We are still heavily involved in our response. Through the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, the California National Guard can provide aircraft, engineers, military police, chemical biological detection, reconnaissance, and mass decontamination. I'm very proud to say that the California Military Department and the California National Guard, our citizen soldiers and airmen, still abide by the National Guard's motto of always ready, always there, to be there for Californians in their greatest time of need. I will be followed by Mr. J.P. Patton, the Director of the California Conservation Corps.
Good morning. By now, we are well aware that with the accelerating effects of climate change, the western states, especially California, are in for a summer that may be hotter, drier, and potentially more prone to wildfires than many of us have experienced before. And it is critical that we continuously prepare for these conditions. And one of the most effective ways to combat wildfires is the direct, on-the-ground action. And this is where the California Conservation Corps shines. No doubt, aerial resources like planes, helicopters, and ground assets like dozers are awesome and play a crucial role in controlling wildfires. But the groundwork done by hand crews is equally vital. Our crews tirelessly dig breaks and lay water lines in areas that machinery can't access. I'm very proud to highlight the dedication of the young adults in the California Conservation Corps, many of whom are facing their first wildfire season. Yet it is their enthusiasm, their instinct to serve, and commitment to protect our communities which is profound. Young adult Californians, from college grads to those still needing to complete their high school diploma, enroll in the CCC for a year of paid service and training, using this time as a stepping stone to frontline firefighting careers. This invaluable hands-on experience opens the door to careers with CalFire and other esteemed and distinguished firefighting services. Right now, more than 400 Corps members are completing their basic training, ready to answer the call and to respond. And I couldn't be more prouder to share that the CCC is witnessing a remarkable increase in female recruits, all demonstrating their ability to excel in the fire services. Now you can find these dedicated individuals all across California, with 28 fire crews operating out of 14 campuses in close collaboration with CalFire. One crew based just down the road at the Los Padres Center in San Luis Obispo. For today's Corps members are tomorrow's firefighters. In fact, over the past 3 years, more than 500 Corps members were hired and found their way to CalFire and have launched their wildland firefighting careers. The work done by these crews supports other key pillars of Governor Gavin Newsom's climate commitments. So when not engaged in direct firefighting, these crews are on the front lines of restoring our forests, reducing fire fuels, and increasing defensible space. It is this intensive work that prepares our Corps members for the physical and mental rigors of firefighting. So, putting it all together, our partnership with CalFire is positioning the state of California to be even more vigilant in protecting our natural resources, our forests, and our communities, while at the same time developing meaningful futures for all young Californians. No matter the challenges this season may present, the CCC fire crews will be ready to respond. Thank you very much, and please stay safe. And with that, I'd like to introduce Assistant Chief Kyle Foster with the Coastal Division of the California Highway Patrol.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Director Tyler. On behalf of Commissioner Sean Duree and his executive management team, we appreciate the invitation and being afforded the opportunity to speak to the public today in collaboration with you and your department. The California Highway Patrol, as a statewide law enforcement office with over 100 area offices in all counties, is poised to provide the highest level of safety, service, and security to the people of California. Since 2014, CHP has made a commitment to CalFire to work in collaboration with their women and men in fighting fires in California, ensuring the public safety. CHP officers, sergeants, and lieutenants are assigned to 6 of CalFire's incident management teams as law enforcement liaison officers to ensure that there is collaboration on the local, state, and federal level during any significant incident with CalFire. I used to work in Northern California in the Redding area, so I worked with around fires called the Klamathon, the Delta, and the Carr. During those incidents, I learned 2 key factors from CalFire and our local fire partners: preparedness and defensive space. On July 26, 2018, I learned exactly what those 2 words meant: defensible space and preparedness, as the Carr fire came down from Shasta County into the city of Redding and destroyed over 90% of my neighborhood and local community. It was at that time the 6th most devastating fire in the state's history. It was only through good preparedness and defensible space, and through the efforts of all the women and men in CalFire and the other contributing agencies at that time, that my house survived, and that of my neighbor when I pulled up and saw that it was on fire. Through all those interviews and times and deployments with firefighters in the community, I also learned something else that was extremely important. Make a list. 10 things. 10 things you cannot live without. Your marriage album, your family album, medication, whatever it may be, know where that list is and know where those items are. So when you get that evacuation alert at 2 o'clock in the morning, you take your list, you get your items, and you get out. Every moment you delay an evacuation puts our first responders at risk for coming in to evacuate you if you leave too soon. It puts your family at risk. So I'd ask, when that evacuation comes, leave. Leave immediately. Take what you need and stay until we tell you it's safe to come back. Evacuations are hard for everyone. You're being denied access to your homes, to the things that you find most dear, sometimes to your pets and other things that you couldn't take. It is extremely important that you stay away until CalFire, OES, CHP, and our other collaborators determine that it is safe for you to go back to your neighborhood. There is nothing in that home or on your property that is more important than your life or the life of your loved ones or our first responders that have made that dedication to protect you and your property at all costs. So on behalf of the California Highway Patrol and everyone up here, I hope that you stay safe, that you execute good preparedness, and that you listen to when it's time to go. Thank you. I'd like now to introduce Deputy Chief Isaac Sanchez with CalFire.
Thank you. Before we begin our Q&A session, I'd like to reintroduce Chief Joe Tyler.
It's so often that I catch my personnel off guard because I go off script, but it is so important to recognize, as I recognized partners earlier, I stand here during the duration of this and realize that I missed some of our partners, and it's so important to recognize how gracious they were to be here with us, standing here today. You heard from the California Highway Patrol, but thank you for being here as well. To Cal OES and all the staff members that are here, thank you for that as well. To the County of San Luis Obispo Office of Emergency Services, I appreciate you being here as well. And then we have a great partner, and I'm sad that I missed you in the opening, but to our Santa Barbara County Fire Department with a helicopter behind us and many of their members here today as well. Lastly, I think it's important to recognize our ASL interpreter for standing here in the sun with us today, being able to get the message out to everyone about fire preparedness. So thank you personally for standing here with us and signing our message. Thank you.
Okay, this concludes our prepared statements portion of our press conference, so we'd like to go ahead and open it up to any questions from the media. Alrighty, with no questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up our presentation today. I would just like to remind everybody that they can find information on any CalFire fires that have exceeded 10 acres anywhere in the state by visiting the incidents map page at fire.ca.gov. Also, for tips on what you can do to prepare yourselves and your families, please visit readyforwildfire.org. Thank you.